Everyone, and welcome to my first YouTube video. Today I'm going to be doing this makeup look that I've created here. I'm doing sort of like my everyday foundation routine, but I'm doing something a little bit more glamorous on the eyes as I'm going out today. So if you want to know how I got this look, then just keep on watching. So to begin with, I'm going to be using the Master Prime by Maybelline. I got this when I was out in Florida and it's actually really good for covering up your pores. So I just put that on my face in the places that I need it most. I sort of start off in the centre where it's needed and then I just push it out. Can you tell that I fake tanned last night? So as I said, I did fake tan last night, so what I'm going to do is mix my tan shade because this is when I'm at my darkest. It's the Maybelline Fit Me in 220, and then I also take my Revlon Colour Stay, which is my light shade. So I prefer the formula in this one, so I just mix them together to get my perfect shade. Okay, so now I've mixed that on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to take my damp Real Technique sponge and then just put it on the sponge and then just start blending all over my face. A little bit more for the forehead. So what I do is if I've got any more product left over on my hand, I just take that on the beauty blender instead of wasting it, and I put it more in the centre of my face, so it just gives the illusion that you've got more coverage than you actually do without caking it all over. Just make sure to bring it down the neck as well because you want to make sure everything's blended. I feel like it's just got a little bit darker in here. I feel like the sun's gone behind a cloud, so I've just put my light on so it's not too dark, but just bear with the light in for a moment. After you've got your foundation on, I'm then going to take the Instant Age Eye Eraser from, who's by Maybelline. This one. I love this because it's really light under your eyes, but it does give it a full coverage. So what you do is you just wind, and then you place that under the eye in a triangle, which helps to like lift the eye so it doesn't look like the light's coming down. It helps to lift your face. Then once again I'm taking my Real Technique sponge and just blending that out. So now we're concealed and there's no dark circles. I'm just going to take my Rimmel Stay Matte powder. You can see it's been well loved. There's a mark in there. I'll put my damp beauty blender in it and it's just marked the powder. So, but yeah, I'm going to take my powder and then I'm just going to swirl a big brush in it and I'm just going to set my face. I do have oily skin, so I do have to set everywhere. Although I like a dewy finish, it's better to start off a little bit matte because I will get more oily throughout the day. You also just want to make sure that you're not setting any creases under your eyes, so I always go this way and then that way. The same on my eyelids, just to make sure that all the creases are taken out. If you want, you can just go back with your beauty sponge and like dab them out and then set. Once I've done my powder, I like to do my eyebrows next. I use the L'Oreal Brow Artist Genius Kit, and I think this is in the dark. I believe this is the dark one, and what it does is it comes with a, actually I'll show you, mine's pretty beat up to be honest, I use this every day. It comes with a wax and a powder. I'm not sure if you can see that, it's quite dark. But yeah, and a little brush. I'm just going to do those off camera as I can't do my eyebrows on camera, it just takes too long. Also, just as a quick tip, if you do your eyebrows and you find that they look too harsh at the front, more boxy and square, take your sponge at it or brush that you use to apply your foundation and then just gently tap on the front of the brow, and it just helps to soften it up a little bit. And then you can always go back and then just redefine if you need to, but it just creates like a softer look at the front. So after doing my brows, I then just set them with the Rimmel Brow This Way. It's just a really good like setting liquid for your brows. It doesn't go crispy and it doesn't like reflect light or anything, so you can't really tell you've got it on, but it does help to just keep the smaller hairs in place. So the next step is to bronze the face. I don't really contour, I bronze more. I find if I don't use ashier shades that you would normally use for contouring, I end up looking gaunt and it's not a good look for me. So I do just use a bronzer. I use Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, which is obviously a cult favourite, and I just use the little brush that it comes with, and obviously it's handy that it's got a mirror in it as well, so I just get some powder, tap off the excess, and then I just go in and start carving up my cheeks. Like I said, I don't really contour as such, but I do like to define a little bit more in this area here and to the ear, and then just blending it out. I've gone in with the hula brush. I then take my fluffy brush that I use to apply my powder, just get a little bit more, and then just gently brush that just to make sure everything's blended out, because I find sometimes with the brush that it comes with, it can look quite harsh, and I want a diffused look on my cheeks, so I just go in with that brush and blend that out. And I also go on the perimeter of my forehead as well. It just helps to make everything tie together, because you don't want to be really bronzed in the centre of your face and around the edges of your cheeks, but then be really pale on top. It just helps to balance everything out. So I just go in with a fluffy brush and do that. After bronzing, I like to go in with my highlight. Now, I really do love highlight. I mean, I can go over the top sometimes, but more is more, I guess. I'm actually going to go in with Becca's Champagne Pot, which was the Jaclyn Hill collaboration. This is my favourite highlight. It just matches my skin tone perfectly. I take it on this e.l.f. blush brush, tap off the excess, and then I just go on the higher points of my cheeks. And I like to make sure it's all blended and not just a strip of gold shimmer on my face. So I just go in with that. And then I also like to take a little bit just on my nose. I know a lot of people don't like to do this, but I like to do this. And then also just another little bit on my Cupid's bow. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and do my eyes. I'm actually going to use my favourite palette, which is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I got this when I was out in Florida, and it is absolutely amazing. If you're going to splurge on a palette, I'll definitely do this one. The brush in here is my favourite eyeshadow brush ever, so it's worth it just for the brush, really. So what I do is got the fluffy side, and then it's got this sort of tapered side, which is great. Really sorry, but if you couldn't tell, my camera battery cut out, so I had to quickly charge it, made myself a cup of tea while it was charging, and now I'm back. As I said, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and I'm just actually going to go in with the colour Golden Ochre. I'm just going to quickly show you the shade so you can see. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with the shade Golden Ochre, and then I'm just going to put that in the crease as a transition shade. Okay, so now we've got our transition shade down. I'm actually going to go in with Burnt Orange just to deepen up the crease a little bit and create some definition. Okay, so I'll just scooch in a little bit closer, and if you can see, I've got a quite defined crease at the moment. So I think I'm going to go for something a little bit pink today. So I'm actually going to go in with Venetian Red, if you can see there. Yep, so I'm going to go in with that shade, and then just continue to build up that colour in the crease. Now this colour is really pigmented, so you want to make sure that you go in with a light hand and then sort of build up the colour. I always think you can add when you do makeup, but it's harder to take away. So if you just start off with a light hand and then start building up the colour, just makes the blending process a lot more easier. So I'm just going to do that on both sides and continue to blend to get a seamless edge. So as you can see, I've put that colour in the crease and then blended upwards, and I've got a nice pink hue going on. Now as I've got hooded eyes, I have to bring the colour up slightly higher, otherwise you can't see it as well. So I just bring it up almost to my brow bone, not entirely though, just so you can see the colour that I've used. I'm then going to go in with the colour Vermeer, I believe that is. I'm not entirely sure how you say that. I think it's this one? Yeah, this one right here. So I'm just going to go in with that and then put that on my lid. Now the good thing with these shadows is that you don't actually have to wet the brush. They're so pigmented on their own that you don't have to add anything to them to bring out the shine. So I'm just going to pat that all over the lid from corner to corner. And then I'm just going to take my brush again and then just smooth out the edges. I do tend to get a bit of transfer, as I said, because I've got hooded eyes, but it's just to get that bit of colour and shimmer impact on the lid. Okay, so if you can see, I might come in a little bit closer. If you can see, I've got that on my lid now, and I love doing this look because I find it brings out my eyes quite a lot. With the pink and the blue, it makes them stand out a little bit more. So that's all I do for the eyeshadow. I'm then going to go in with an eyeliner and use the Colour Precise eyeliner by Rimmel. I really like this one. It's really black, and it just helps your lashes look thicker without having to use falsies. So I don't do a wing, I just go along the lash line And I start off thin, sometimes it ends up thicker than I want, but just got to roll with it with eyeliner. No matter how many times I do it, it always turns out even more or less than what I had in my head. So I've just learnt to roll with it with eyeliner. I'm not too bothered about it being too precise either, because when I put mascara on, it sort of hides that. So if you do get a little bit messy, it's nothing to worry about. Of course, if you want a wing, it's better to try and keep it as sharp as you can, but that's all I do for eyeliner. And then I go in with a new discovery, which I'm completely and utterly late on, because everyone else seems to know about this and I didn't. It's the Maybelline Lash Sensational in Instant Black. Now, I am absolutely in love with this mascara. It makes my lashes look so full and fluffy. So I just put 2 coats on of that, and also on my bottom lashes. And I also look down when I do it, because I find it helps to lift your lashes up. If you're doing it like that, you can't, sorry, you couldn't see that. If you do it like that, you can't really push your lashes up. Whereas if you look down, you're blinking as you go, and it helps to create more fullness at the bottom, which in turn makes your lashes look fuller. I put my mascara on, and I feel like mascara really just completes a look. And as I said before, I have hooded eyes, so I don't really wear false lashes because they tend to just rub on my eyeshadow. So I really love this mascara for lengthening and volumizing my lashes. So for this look, that's pretty much it. There is one thing that I tend to do, if I can find it, inner corner highlight, and I use MAC Nylon for that. I've had mine for quite a while, as you can see. So yeah, I just take that on my finger because I find that the oils on your hands tend to pick up pigment better than a brush would. So I just do that and then put that in the inner corner of my eye, and it just helps to open up the eye, and it reflects light and makes it look more wide and awake. So I do that on both eyes, and then that's pretty much it. I just blend it out a little bit, and that's really it. The only thing to really do now is add a lip colour. So I'm just going to grab my lip liner. If I use the NYX liner in Peekaboo Neutral, which is this one, and then I also use I think it's the Maybelline Nude Embrace matte lipstick, and I love these. These are such a good dupe for a matte lipstick, and I think they're literally like a $5, so you can't really go wrong with those. So I just take the lip liner and I just line around my lips. Okay, so now I've done that, put that away, and then I'm going to take this lipstick and then just apply it to the centre and just rub my lips together, and then just dab it around the edges. It's not really an ombre look, but sometimes I don't like putting lipstick all over because, as I said, I have dry lips. So once I've done that, sometimes, like I said, I'll take a gloss. Today I think I will. I'm going to use the Buxom, I think this is the Buxom Full On Lip Cream in White Russian. My dad got this for me when he went to Vegas for work from Sephora. I almost cried when I got it. These are so good. So yeah, I'm just going to put that. So yeah, that's it for the makeup look. I hope that you've liked my first video. You'll just have to bear with me as I get used to filming. And obviously I don't really have any studio lights or anything. I'm just using the light from my window and the lights on my ceiling. So if it does change and things get a little bit off, I will try and work on that. But as for this video, it's pretty much done. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give me any comments, like feedback. Constructive criticism I'll take, just not anything nasty, because that gets us nowhere. So yeah, I'll see you next time.